Welcome back, everybody, and get your cha-cha-cha-cha in order, because that's another night. But right now, we're talking about that's right, Texas Chainsaw. Going to get it on tonight. Me and Leatherface go way back. Scared the crap out of me from early childhood. This came out the year after I was born, so he's literally been scaring me my whole life. We're going to get it on tonight. I talked all the way through the promo music, so why not? How you doing, everybody? I am the Reverend Jeff Kelly, and he is a dumb animal. Hey, over there is not a dumb animal.
But I am the Lord of the Harvest, guys.
Reno Wilmus, that's right, the Lord of the Harvest.
And if you guys don't know what that's from, you're going to learn tonight.
Something tonight, my man. Straight up, we're going outside of the norm tonight. We are not going to have the normal reflected show like we usually have. No trailer trash talk tonight. No who's watching what, because this is all we've pretty much watched all week long. That's right, to bring you the Halloween
tonight, if you will. We are bringing you a crash course on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's right. If you have never seen such a thing, shame on you. Shame.
What sort of horror fan
ring,
are you?
Shame. Ring, ring. There we go. That's the one I actually want to do that with. And we'll get over here. So it all started with a little film in 1974. The tomato meter gives it 88%. Audience score 82%. And I say they're both frigging over. Honestly, it's not my favorite of this franchise at all. Just as Hitchcock's Psycho was based on the life of deeply disturbed farmer Ed Gein, so is this little story of depravity and dementia when a sister and her brother take a group of friends to visit a farmhouse of their deceased grandfather. They discover that just next door lives a whole family of repugnant psycho killers. Most noteworthy is Leatherface, who is the bloke who wields the power saw and has a penchant for human flesh. Nom, nom, nom. Though the film did not immediately have success at the box office, it gathered hefty cult following. Directed by Tobe Hooper, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is considered to be one of the most horrifying movies in history. That's what.
And to that, I say yes and no.
Yeah, I mean, dude, not great. Weaknesses all over this script. I mean, seriously, being a scriptwriter,
right? Like,
really, there's 40 minutes of this movie I could have cut.
Right. I wouldn't even say that 40 minutes could have been cut. I just think that they could have been improved on. I don't know. Maybe I'm just spoiled by what came later in the slasher genre, like such films as we would get in the Friday series, in the Nightmare series, in the Halloween series. We would get like characters that you actually cared for. And in this, I didn't care for any of them. I was just waiting for each one to.
I was praying for the fat one in the wheelchair to finally get his head chopped off so I could stop hearing him.
Annoyed the fuck out of me, especially when everybody was exploring the house.
And you're going, Sally, I can't go with you, Sally. I'm in a wheelchair, Sally.
Ref, I can give you a more accurate dialogue of like what it was like listening to him. Sally.
I'm gonna honk the horn, Sally. There's no key, Sally. Where are you going, Sally? I'm getting the fuck away from you, you fat fucking wheelchair.
I was
holy God,
laughing my ass off when Leatherface showed up and he was just revving that chainsaw right into that fat fuck.
Really? No, dude, it was fucking horrible.
And it was like I was talking to Rev before the show. As far as this goes, Texas actually is pretty disturbing and horrifying. Until it goes overboard, because every time it gets to a point where I'm genuinely feeling disturbed by this, they just keep going with it, and it kills it. Actually, it works against its
It does. It
favor.
does. By the end of the movie, it's almost like The Godfather just kind of insists on. And I don't know. By the end of the movie, I'm kind of glad everybody's dead and the bitch is running away. I mean, really, seriously. I mean, I really am. I mean, it's just I'm glad everybody's dead. The family's dead. I'm just glad everybody's dead. Anyhow, so I'll give it 7 stars out of 10. I mean,
I'd say 7 is pretty fair.
It's a good. Yeah, it's a good solid. I can't give it 4 out of 5 because that's an unfair. It deserves more than that. But 7 out of 10, I would definitely give it. Yeah, people are like, wait, 4 out of 5 is more than 7 out of 10, but not really. Anyhow,
yeah,
do the math.
Playing by his own rules.
That's good. So the follow-up, 74 Texas Chainsaw Massacre and the introduction to Leatherface is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, over 10 years after making the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Tobe Hooper returns to his deranged family of reclusive cannibals for another round of chainsaw chases and nonstop screaming.
And then
real budget this time.
Harvest.
That's right. Having recently directed The Poltergeist for Steven Spielberg and the talents of veteran makeup artist Tom Savini before, this means he can make things bigger, louder, and gorier than ever before. And they are. He also brings wacky humor, as if deliberately flaunting Texas Chainsaw Massacre status as one of the first and still greatest slasher movies of all times. Now, I gotta say, unfortunately, completely lost continuity right here with Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. They changed the storyline. The only thing they really kept was dude's name. But at least they had it, Thomas Brown Sawyer throughout the first 3 movies, I guess it was.
Right.
This one's the one where the dude heats up the coat hanger and picks his brain with it and eats it.
Chop
right?
top.
Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah, I just got finished watching this one a little earlier today, and I like this one. We watched it on VHS. No, I'm sorry. Let me correct that. We watched it on, I think. What year was this?
This was
1986. Yeah, we definitely watched this on Betamax. Betamax was the better video quality at the time, but for sure, it's still not my favorite of the franchise so far. I got to be honest with you, none of the originals are there.
Right, but I'd say it's more enjoyable than the original, though.
Absolutely is.
Which I'm sure some horror fans would be crucifying me for saying such a thing, but come on.
Right, but yeah, really, it starts out fun, the type of gory fun that's fun to watch, and kind of just sticks with that plan, and all the way through the movie, it's humor, but it's scary at the same time.
Also, I really try humping this chick with his chainsaw. So
yeah, well, that's always great too. So. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 74, 86, Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. Then comes this crap storm. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
Right.
Another sequel. Yeah, another sequel of The Cannibal with the human skin mask. Not directed by Toby this time. Directed by Jeff Burr. Had 0 budget, and they were just sucking off of the Texas Chainsaw name. It basically get a big dude to go with a chainsaw, and there you have it. You got a successful horror film. This one sucked balls. However, they did actually get some people to act in this one. Viggo Mortensen was in this one. There was also some Viggo Mortensen, the cat that was in Hidalgo.
Ooh.
And American History X. No, A History of Violence. Yeah, that's when he was a part of the family too. It was pretty creepy. So this one came right along 1990. That was my junior year in high school. Holy
Probably
crap.
one of the more forgettable of the franchise.
I didn't know this one existed for a long time. We watched 1
Right, because
and
I
2
hear nobody talk
quite a
about
bit on horror nights, but I don't remember anybody ever bringing a copy of Leatherface to the party. I really, really don't. And what's sad about it is next one before I saw Leatherface. Massacre of the Next Generation in 1994. Now, this one is more of an updated remake than a sequel to the 74's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It kind of is and kind of isn't. It centers around one young woman with an iron will for survival in the face of unspeakable horrors occurring within the home of an inbred family of cannibals. Now, this time it was directed by Kim Henkel, person that wrote it. 7 minutes long, and it just bleed in 1994. It was kind of 1994-ish, it was hair bands, it was hairspray, it was
this was the film that took Leatherface's balls, ripped them straight off, shoved them up his ass, and
made him Bozo the Clown. Bozo the Clown.
You have who's the main chick in this? Who's the actress who plays her?
I don't even remember.
Anyways, when you have her, Leatherface tells her, shut up, and he just does that. You fucking ruined it there.
Yeah, that was just
fucking ruined it.
We wasted time. I didn't waste my time on this one, but it did get passed around and we did watch it.
Also, shame on you, audience, for her giving it 1% better score than the critics.
Yeah, but we can all agree that most critics suck anyhow.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, so
they found 1% more enjoyableness in this. Anyways,
yeah,
moving on.
Yeah. Moving right along to this year's brand new release. That's right. If you haven't seen it yet, I have. Got to tell you, it's good.
Unfortunately, I haven't, but I've heard great things, and I'm going to get ready to see it soon.
Seriously, I liked it. Just scared me. Made me look away at a couple of times. And that's tough to do because I've seen the donkey show up close. Made me look away. Now I don't know why they're giving it such crappy reviews. Of all the horror movies
you love,
and with all the horror movies that have been released recently, this one was actually good. And I would tell people to actually go and watch this one. Is it still in the theaters? I don't know. Years before
I don't
the
think
event,
this one actually got a theatrical release. I think this
don't think so either.
At most a HBO release and then straight to DVD.
In Texas, years before the events of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in the early days of the infamous Sawyer family, the youngest child is sentenced to a mental hospital after a suspicious incident leaves the sheriff's daughter dead. 10 years later, the Sawyer team kidnaps a young nurse and escapes with 3 other inmates. Pursued by authorities, including the deranged sheriff out to avenge his daughter's death, Sawyer goes on a violent road trip from hell, molding him into the monster now known as Leatherface.
Wait. So you're saying this is a movie about a group of murderous psychopaths on the run from a psychotic sheriff? West.
It is.
This sounds a lot like The Devil's Rejects, man.
No, it's really not. It really you got to watch it to understand. That's kind of a lackluster explanation of what really happens. The sheriff blames
fire the synopsis people here.
Blames the Sawyer mother for their kids' depravity, and they passed a law. And basically, he told her, "You take one of my kid, I take all of yours." So they had the state go in and take all of the Sawyer children away, all the minors, and put them all in mental hospitals. Change their names and give them other identities to hide them from the parents to protect them. 3, I thought one dude was going to end up being Leatherface, and it wasn't. So. I mean, they had me fooled. They really, really had me fooled. I mean, it's Californication or the movie California with that crazy chick that was in From Dusk Till Dawn and Woody Harrelson, where they're just on a murderous rampage and they just don't care.
Right.
Very much a feeling of that in this movie too, but how he actually becomes Leatherface is pretty nifty. Now, this looks like to be a prequel to the prequel of the sequel to the original.
The prequel to the direct sequel to the original that wasn't really good at keeping continuity.
Right.
Which, granted,
this isn't the line.
Granted, I've already told Rev, and I'll say it on the show, that slasher movies, if you enjoy them, you'll notice quickly that they never keep continuity.
You would have think that they would at least kept the name right through all the incarnations of Leatherface. You know, the dude's it's either that dude or it's not that dude. You know what I mean? But whatever. Right after this movie, then I took on the 2006 incarnation of the prequel to the remake, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning. They might as well have called this the hot chicken midriff runs through the woods chased by a Leatherface. I mean, that's what they should have called this movie, In the Dark, because that's all it was. It was that chick running from Leatherface through the dark. The funny thing was,
also sad story for Leatherface.
The conflict in Vietnam has exploded to and 18-year-old Dean Hill's number is up. Dean's brother Eric, who has already seen his share of combat, plans to take Dean to enlist in his beloved Marine Corps in hopes of keeping an eye on him rather than letting him take his chances at the local induction center. But Dean's plan don't coincide with his older brothers. Instead, he plans to confront Eric about dodging the draft after the boys, their respective girlfriends, Bailey and Christy, head across to Texas for a final fling of serious fun soon after their journey begins, because they run into trouble. This one was good. I like this one. I like Ernie. Ernie's a fun guy.
Granted, it definitely wasn't as good as what it was following, which was the remake of Texas Chainsaw. But it was definitely a good installment, and it really fit into what the remake established.
If you don't watch it after, if you watch it before, like I did, and then watch the remake, it makes this a better movie.
Right. Because wasn't Armie Hammer not in this one?
Who?
I who played the police sergeant in the remake.
No, he was definitely he was definitely in this one. You learn how he got the friggin' sheriff outfit and the car and everything.
Right.
This one.
Actor in particular actually being in this.
Yes, it's the same guy.
Oh, same guy? Oh, well,
same exact guy. Absolutely. I've actually seen this one. Yeah, for sure. This one's scary though. I mean, but it's always 5 teens going through friggin' Texas. It's always 5 teens.
Always Leatherface running and yelling with a chainsaw,
chasing a hot chick through with her midriff hanging out, through the damn dark ass woods they're great videos, they're great visuals. I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait till we film Weekend at Zeke's. I mean, that's the kind of lighting that I want for some of those scenes. They're fantastic. It's dark outside, but you can see everything. It's perfect. But if you haven't seen the beginning, you should, because it really does give you not Leatherface's origin story necessarily, but kind of the families, how they got to be in charge of everything, how what happened to the town, there was a couple of continuity problems with this one, because this was when the slaughterhouse got shut down and the town died and they all got put out of work. But yet when she runs through the slaughterhouse later on in the movie, there's cows there.
Right. But
there'd be cows in an empty slaughterhouse. Right. But whatever. Blah, blah, blah. Decent movie, hot chick in really tight pants, boobs slinging back and forth, running through the woods away from Leatherface. awesome. Seen so many deaths with chainsaws over the last 24 hours. It's been amazing. Finally, we move up to the remake of 2003, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Jessica Biel. Snazzy Bazzy. Boy, they made sure they gave her a wet t-shirt concert about every 15
minutes. Almost come full circle in this review if we hadn't had to bother with Texas Chainsaw after this. We began this by saying the original was highly overrated, and now we're going to almost end this by saying the remake is kind of underrated.
Very, very underrated. This is one of those particular cases where I think the remake is a stronger, better movie than the original. Sacrilege, Rev! You should be hung from the highest post.
How dare you praise a horror remake?
Right, exactly. A tale of 5 20-somethings who a free-spirited road trip becomes a terrifying descent into madness when they find themselves isolated in a rural Texas community. They fall into the clutches of a monstrous clan of Texas cannibals and find themselves being whittled away by the chainsaw-wielding Leatherface. Right. Directed by Marcus Nispel. That's right.
Here's what I gotta say about this version. Sure, you can say this kind of suffers from generic horror movie formula, but if you're gonna compare it to the original, I want to say the characters, while still kind of flat stereotypes of horror movies, I would still take this group of teens over the group of teens from the original. Like we said, in the original, we had to deal with, "Hey, Miss Sally, where you going, man?" In this, they actually
this movie, I wanted the people to live.
Right.
To live. I really, really was I was rooting for them to get away. I really was, even though I knew the story. I was like, oh, that sucks. He's got that guy's face on. Oh, he's dead.
Right. And then the first time guy was planning, which the girl didn't know, but he was planning to propose to her. Like when Leatherface is stringing up his body, you see a ring fall out of his pocket. I was like, aw, sad face.
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, when he's literally one-legged playing the piano with his toe hanging on the meat hook, crucified like Christ. Oh, poor guy. That visual is just with the rain or with the water just dripping all over him, just creepy. Now, what I did like about all of these movies is they all started out with that.
He's fucking nuts.
Ouch. What I did like about all these movies is they did start off with the original footage and end with the original footage, like the originals did. So,
also that sound effect.
Yes, it was always the same. I did notice that on most of them, anyhow. Partially, what makes this so creepy is the fact that while I know that particular footage is faked as well, there was a real dude out there that this was all based on.
Right, Ed Gein.
That does make it kind of creepy. Kind of make it kind of super creepy that guy killed and ate people, almost a couple of dozen of them. Right. Jessica Biel's wet t-shirt contest every 15 minutes, right on spot. I mean, just hot midriff chick running through the woods with wet with her nipples hanging out. I whatever. I'm down with it. No boobage in this movie.
I think one of the main reasons we watch these type of movies.
Yeah. We usually get some boobies in these movies, but there wasn't really a lot of boobage in any of these movies.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever the thing of the Texas movies. They didn't really get into it for the teen sex. They got into it for the all the blood and gore.
I can tell you in Leatherface, there's some definitely strong sexual content scene. So let's put it that way. Wow.
All right.
And finally, let's get it all wrapped up here with 2013's Texas Chainsaw 3D, bitches. A chainsaw-yielding killer known as Leatherface terrorizes a group of young teens. Yeah, you suck in the movie info on this one. Direct sequel to the original, supposedly.
Again, getting a bunch of details wrong, but you see broad strokes. You can see this following up. I could definitely directly skip all the sequels in between Texas 1 and go straight to this one. Especially
Now
since it begins with clips
this
from
is the
movie.
one where they surrounded the Sawyer house and burned them to the ground, right?
Right.
Which didn't really happen after the first one at all. The other
Again, this is
sequels
like
were burnt.
a retroactive continuity change where they
sort of like Jurassic World. You know, they're just
you
Dino
mean
Park
how they're
2 or
probably
3.
gonna rewrite Jurassic the Lost World and 3 into the sequel?
I don't know what you're talking about. Dino Park 2 was a horrible movie.
Oh my god, we're not getting into
Jeff
this.
Goldblum might have been in both of them, but
this is there a Dino Park in Texas,
anyhow,
Rev?
there might be. I'm not really sure. People like this one much better than the critics did. I like this one. This is the one where the hot little friggin' raven-haired, blue-eyed chick with giant fake boobies.
Jesus, I think I have that's gonna be my new celebrity crush.
Dude, are you kidding me? Oh, the dirty things I would do to that poor girl. She has no clue. Oh, but
you're right. She does have no clue. If she actually watches this, what are you doing with your
if you want to know the dirty things I would do to you, yeah, give me a call. I'd be glad to do them to you. I ain't afraid of no chick.
It's okay. I will treat you better than Rev would.
About that, I'm more experienced.
But
I digress. It doesn't matter. I'll take sloppy seconds. God, this is really getting off key here.
I apologize to this actress, even though she will never watch this.
I don't even know her name. That's the sad part of it. But man,
I will gladly learn it.
I saw Michael Bay had something to do with one of these damn movies, but there weren't any explosions in it. So I didn't think that could be true.
That's because he produced it. That was the one we just talked about.
Gotcha. He helped get money to get it made. Gotcha. All right. This one, I like the storyline on this one. I liked a lot of things about this one. I really did. And I think that people really go back and watch them kind of in the way that I did. You start with the new Leatherface, watch the beginning, then watch the really good remake, and then watch this one. Hell, you'd have a really good night of chainsaw horror on your TV.
I think, well, granted, I would say place the original just for continuity's sake, because people might get confused when they get to the setup of the house in the beginning of this movie because it looks nothing like the remake. Which, granted, while I'm on that, props to the set department on this movie, because when you're in the Sawyer house in the beginning, it looks spot on to what the original house looked like. I don't know if that was actually they recreated it as a set, or whether they actually found the original house and recreated what it looked like in the original movie. Because you notice that they have like the animal skull room that has the red walls on it. But anyways, props to them. And so it picks up right where the original left off, and you meet the new
Heather
of Leatherface. Yeah, Heather.
Heather was her name.
The one that we would do dirty things to.
They basically stormed in and burned all the Sawyers to death alive.
They gave
one of the girls escaped with a baby, and one of the villains stole the baby from her and then killed her, ran off and raised it as their own because his wife couldn't have a baby. And comes to find out some years later, a lawyer finds her to tell her that her grandmother died and that she inherited her grandmother's house. So the five of them, again, there's always a 5-pack. It starts out as a 4-pack, and then they pick up a douchebag along the way. So that makes it 5.
Yeah, if you learn anything from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, never pick up hitchhikers. Never
Pick up. Not even once. It never works out well. They either pull a gun out of their vagina and eat a bullet, or they end up trying to rob your house and getting killed by your big dumb cousin.
Right. Also, I just realized this when we were summing this up. This is pretty much a mashup of all the horror movie backstories. Okay, you got the villains that were burnt alive. They stole that from the Nightmare movies. And then you have the secret family member that was taken from this fucked up family and raised by another. They took that from Halloween.
Yeah.
Not that it's a bad thing, but it's fun little Easter egg stuff, I guess.
There's a little continuity problem between the new Leatherface origin story and what the story behind Leatherface's condition was in the remake. Like the remake, he had some kind of a facial condition that made him lose his nose,
right?
And, scores
then again,
and scars.
And remake, that's a whole different continuity.
Right. Well, whatever the case may be,
but then, like we said, continuity doesn't.
Yeah, but then they go back and make Leatherface. They go back and they make Leatherface an origin story to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre that doesn't have, one of the stories. The girl has him. The boss won't let her take a break, and she friggin' dies there, giving birth to him on the friggin' shop floor. So in this one, in the Leatherface origin story, it's a completely different story. You gotta watch Leatherface to find out what that story is. I like the newest incarnation of how Leatherface becomes Leatherface because it's very overall.
And I'll have to update you guys with what I think next time we do what we've been watching.
That is right, because right about now, that's when we get to wrap up this edition of What You Watching. Let's go out here and say hi to the 4 or 5 people that might be out there.
Yeah, we can't forget them.
No. We never want to forget our loyal fans that are out there watching. Let's see here who's out in their room tonight. Mr. Rod Dupree. Who's always in the place to be. Lance Windsor, our Canadian superhero. That's right, man. That guy needs a cape.
Saving the day lately?
Something of solitude. Dean Cooper. Hey, the Bionic Man. That's right. He is out there.
I'm sure he is out there whispering into some microphone or something like that, being all like, "Fuck you, Collier. Fuck you, Collier. Fuck you, Collier."
Life and Times of JCM. That's right. Gone camping.
Hello, Jevin.
Hello, Jevins. And batting third, playing center field. Mr. Kurt. Harris. Sam Squanch Rivera in the house.
How you doing, Sammy boy?
Here, is there anybody else in the house? I don't know. I'd like to push that button and find out. Starshine, sky rockets in flight.
I was gonna say she better be out there.
Afternoon delight. That's right. Ooh, afternoon delight.
Wait, is that an actual person that's out there?
Oh, that's actually Starshine. I don't know. Other than that, it's a stand-up double. That's right.
It's an awesome name. There's somebody out there named Afternoon Delight.
Dude, yeah, or skyrockets in flight. Yeah. So 41% like this over the 19%. The 19% critics rating on this one. I liked it. I liked the storyline. I liked the characters.
Usually like to butcher horror movies, especially slasher movies.
But I gotta mention, man, it was the point that they had her strung up in the basement with her shirt open. They had to have had it like taped to her boobs or something. Like, there's no way that your shirt doesn't flip open and show us your boobs at that point. They literally like either taped or like, contact glued that shirt to her boobs so that they would not flip open. You already had an R rating. I mean, and like we couldn't tell what they looked like. I mean, they were all butt nippling at us the whole friggin' damn movie. You had 2 buttons.
I'm a guy who enjoys a little bit of a teasing.
Your shirt with 10 buttons and you button 2 of them? Really? Oh, that's right. It has to be a midriff girl with a hot ass running through the woods in the dark, being chased.
Sorry, I'm too busy thinking right now.
A chainsaw. And with that, everybody, that is going to wrap it up for our Chainsaw Spectacular here the week before Halloween. That's right. Come join us next week because Cole and I have, in fact, agreed to watch every Halloween movie that has been made between now and next week, so we can bring you
love and regret this
a Halloween spectacular on the night of Halloween. Right. Click the subscribe button. Click the little bell so that you know when we're on. Join us at facebook.com at Watching Vids.
For each person that will subscribe to us, I will personally come to your house and kiss you.
Yeah, but you have to pay the ticket.
Right.
And with that, everybody, we'll see you guys next week.